Hello guys, a very good evening to one and all. Namaste. I welcome you all to the first ever digital marketing webinar by Coding Blocks. I understand that many of you are already a part of the Coding Blocks community, and there are many people who have joined in for the first time and interacting with our Coding Blocks for the first time. So I welcome you all in this digital marketing webinar where we're going to be discussing about why digital marketing has become so important, especially after this pandemic situation. So we're going to start off by understanding the impact of COVID-19 and how digital marketing as a skill is going to be very important in the coming future. We are also going to be discussing whether you should learn digital marketing or not, and why you should choose Coding Blocks for the digital marketing learning. So let us not waste any time. If you have any questions that pop up in your mind while I'm delivering this webinar, do make sure that you are writing the questions in the comments. I will take them up definitely, and I'll try and answer all your questions and fulfill all your curiosity that you might have. So as I mentioned, the first thing that we want to discuss obviously is the current situation of COVID-19. First of all, I hope that you guys, all of you, are staying at home and are all safe. I wish you that, I hope and I wish that you stay safe, and I wish that this lockdown gets over very quickly. I know we all have been sitting at home, working from our home, studying at our home for quite some time now, and it's getting a little frustrated and irritated. I can completely understand. And just like you, I'm also hoping that the lockdown ends very soon. So this COVID-19 situation, this pandemic situation, is something that was very unexpected. It is something that we as Indians specifically had not experienced that a pandemic before like this. We had not seen how such a medical situation can actually impact the whole economy globally, and it can halt the entire world. It can get the entire world to stop. So COVID-19 has been like a catalyst actually. Our world was already changing very rapidly. We were and we are living in a world which is changing continuously, which is changing very rapidly. Technologies are coming in, businesses are changing, the business models are changing. The skills required to survive and grow have been changing for quite some time. And this has been true for each and every industry. It is not industry specific that I'm talking about. This is true for each and every industry, true for each and every sector. So COVID-19 situation, as I mentioned, has acted as a catalyst. I know it is a scary situation and one should be scared. These changes that happen, these are inevitable. You cannot just run away from these changes. These kind of changes, these kind of impacts should actually encourage you, should actually motivate you, because we need to capitalize on this situation. That's what we need. We need to capitalize. We need to stay strong. We need to be smart. We need to keep learning, keep upskilling ourselves, and fight this situation and come out as better individuals, as better professionals when this all ends, when this all stabilizes. And that's how you will survive, and that's how you will grow in the long term. You might be a student right now. You might be a working professional. You might own a business. If you're watching this video, this is for you. I am going to cover each and every aspect of why digital marketing is going to be very important for you. Now, one thing that COVID-19 is going to bring about, a change that is going to COVID-19 is going to bring about, is a behavioral change. A behavioral change in the customers, in the community around you. We already have a kind of a scare in our mind. We will hesitate now going out. We will not be going out as frequently as we used to. We will stop interacting. Our interaction with other individuals is going to reduce a lot. Something like a restaurant industry is going to be hit because of this, because dine-in, which was very important for this sector, is going to suffer because people are going to be scared of going out, be scared of going to public spaces. And this impact has already happened before. This has happened before in a country, China. Our neighboring country, China, such a situation has already happened. And you know what happened? You know what happened after that? That was the moment when Alibaba started rising. Absolutely. This is an example which fits the story that is happening currently today, which is happening today globally, has already happened in China. And one of the companies, one of the big giants today that we know of, Alibaba, was actually built during the pandemic, so-called epidemic that happened, which we know as SARS. In 2002, 2003, SARS hit China. Just like COVID-19 has hit globally, or every country almost around the world, SARS had hit China during 2002, 2003. Similar thing happened. People were asked to stay at home. Companies were shut down. Retail industry, the shops, everything was shut down. Obviously, during that moment, China was also a country where most of the transaction, most of the purchases, most of the shopping as such happened offline. Retail shops were shut down. Everybody was asked to go home. People took their desktops at home. They were trying to work from home, very similar to what is happening today. Alibaba, which was founded in 1999, was right about to launch an online website. They had already, had bet on internet. They believed that internet is the future. But when SARS hit, this change, which they already were ongoing, they had it in their mind, they had it in their business process, that was accelerated. In 2002, 2003, upon SARS, Alibaba was also affected. Obviously, a case was actually registered in the Alibaba company, Alibaba Group, and that had led to Alibaba shutting down. Employees went home. They were asked to take their desktops. They're working from home, and a few of the employees were also staying at Jack Ma's place, where they were about to launch an online website which goes by the name Taobao. So this website was the point of. What's the point where this business, just accelerated? An online website, a situation like COVID-19, people sitting at home, obviously a mindset change had happened. People were not willing to go out, not just during the epidemic, but after that as well. The usage of internet exploded. People were going online. People were ordering things online. They were shopping online, just like what is going to happen after COVID-19, what is happening during COVID-19. We all know the content consumption around the globe has increased. In UK, in almost 2 months back, in United Kingdom, Netflix was asked to remove their HD service from the app because of bandwidth issues. That was the amount of content being consumed all around the globe as people sit at home. This had happened before, and Alibaba had capitalized on it. Not just Alibaba, right after SARS epidemic, seeing the growth that Alibaba had achieved, a lot more e-commerce industries were set up. The manufacturing, the micro manufacturing, which China is very well known for, was set up, and that is where the exponential growth of businesses inside China's economy exploded. Now, this is something that is now happening globally, everywhere, wherever. Especially, let's consider our country only. Let's consider India. We were people who were still 80% of us were going out shopping offline. We were going out to have lunch, dinners for corporate events. We had that kind of a behavior. But this COVID-19 situation, as I said, is going to bring about that change, is going to bring about that mindset change and behavioral change, which is going to restrict us at our homes, which is going to force us to be more online. And this is the opportunity that I was talking about. This is the opportunity that we all as individuals need to capitalize. Yes, I took an example of a business, a big business today, not at that time, remember. A big business today, but not at that time. But yes, the same should happen on an individual basis. Each one of you should feel the same. Each one of you should feel that this is the moment where you need to upskill yourself. This is the moment where you need to capitalize. And this is the moment where you don't need to think of survival, not just survival, but you need to think of growth. So now I'm sure you guys have all understood about the COVID impact that has happened. Definitely another one big change that is going to happen is that businesses are now going to be spending more on digitally. We still had a lot of the majority chunk of budget, marketing budget, spent on traditional mediums, billboards, hoardings. This is going to decline. Absolutely, digital spends are going to go up. Small startups, small businesses are going to rise. People are going to start working from their home. Lot going to build single-person startups. A lot more spending is going to happen on digital mediums like Facebook, Google, and hell lot more YouTube videos that you watch and the blog websites that you visit to read articles. The people are going to start spending more. People are going to start focusing more on these digital mediums rather than trying to go out and trying to capture the market, because everyone, the mindset change that I was talking about is going to keep your consumers on the internet platforms. It is going to keep them sticking on their phones, watching videos on phone, watching Netflix, ordering from Zomato, ordering from Amazon, Flipkart. This was already on the rise, and this is going to explode. That's what I'm trying to say. It's going to explode. There's going to be no limit of how many people now will be using internet for all these services, for getting what they want, for any information, for any product, for any service. In 2024, it is expected that the internet penetration in our country is going to go as high as 84%. The internet penetration is directly linked to digital marketing as a skill. As an individual, internet for you is learning digital marketing, is being able to understand how you can market a business, how you can present a business on the internet, on online platforms. So why should you learn? The question now is, why should you learn? So if you're a techie, if you are a coder, if you're a developer, because I know this is a coding blocks community, a lot of coders and developers right now watching. So I'm going to first start off with you. If you're a tech guy, if you're deep into it, you're already 5-6 years down the line, and you are a heavy technical professional, digital marketing might not be the priority for you. It's an additional skill, and you'll know why as I keep talking about digital marketing as a skill. But if you're just starting off, if you're fresher, if you're just 2-3 years down the line, languages like JavaScript, a bit of Python, if you know this, if you're into the lines of app development, website development, software development, then digital marketing is definitely a key skill for you. Why? See, the reason I said that this is a scary situation is because people have already started losing jobs. People have been sent on unpaid leaves, and this is going to continue. Hiring is going to freeze. Hiring is going to be limited. There will be no more number of jobs, definitely in new skills, but the old jobs are going to go away. They're going to be eliminated. Definitely, this is going to happen. This is going to happen, and that is why you need to become a better asset for your company. If you're looking to go into a company, if I am a recruiter, I want a person who's a full-fledged package, who just does not know, who can or not just code for me, who can not just build an app for me, who also understands what kind of an application, what kind of a UI, what kind of a UX will actually help get more customers, acquire more customers, engage more customers online. And that's a part of digital marketing. Digital marketing is, please don't keep this in mind. This is a myth. Digital marketing is not just about social media marketing. It's not about posting on Instagram and posting on Facebook. Yes, that's a part. And that's also an important part, to be very honest. But that's not it. Digital marketing, don't look at it as just marketing. Look at it as growth. Look at it as the business growth. Look at it as understanding the funnel, understanding the customers. And this is going to help your efficiency as coders as well. For example, you're building building a mobile application, right? So you should understand what kind of a UX is going to work for you. Will a minimalistic design work for this application? You need to understand business for that. You need to understand the business model. You need to understand what kind of target audience is this business targeting? What is their behavior? What is their pattern of browsing through any mobile application specific to your industry? And when you know all these things, if I am a recruiter, I want you as a person in my company. I want you as a talent. I want to recruit you because I know you not just are good in your tech skills. You not just build a beautiful, brilliant, heavy application, but also on the same time you will keep in mind the business model, you will keep in mind the customers, and you will design it in a way, you'll have the interface in a way, you will have the whole experience in a way that we as a business are able to acquire more customers. We as a business are able to engage more with the customers, are able to increase the lifetime value of each of the customer, and able to get them to purchase more from us, get them to associate more with us. All right. So as I mentioned, don't just think about digital marketing as social media. Also think about a major chunk of digital marketing as a part of the growth strategy of any business. And that's the reason this is an in-demand profile. The product manager, growth managers, these are very in-demand profiles, and these are going to grow because this product manager or a growth manager is a person who understands the business 360-degree. You should also understand the tech side of it because most of the business are tech-based business. Flipkart is not an e-commerce platform. It's an application. It's a tech platform that supports vendors and supports customers who can buy from these vendors, right? So most of the companies are obviously tech-related, but definitely the business aspect is very closely associated with it, and that's what makes it the entire complete product. And that's why such profiles are very much in demand and very high-paying. So there's also a myth where people think that digital marketing does not pay well. Okay, and this is not just for coders and developers that I'm talking about. This is general stuff. I'm just trying to make you aware and make you understand that there are certain myths out there. So if you're just into social media marketing, where you just have to, you're a fresher and you have to post, obviously you will start off with a little low on the salary range. But if you possess the skills that that make you stand out, who's going to stop you? Who's not going to pay you? Who's not going to ask you to lead their product? A tech product. You understand coding as a developer. You understand how to market it. Obviously that thought process is also going to come into your tech design when you're going to be coding, or when you're going to get your team to code. That mindset is going to come in, and it's going to be a beautiful product. Apart from that, apart from a mobile application, let me just give you a few more examples. So a mobile applications, if you know digital marketing, you know which button to put where, the color, the designing point of it. You will understand, if you understand digital marketing, you will understand you don't have to, you have to make sure that the speed is good. You understand that what kind of a chatbot would be required, what kind of flow would that chatbot have, and all these things are important even as a developer. If you're able to think this, that's when only you out of the entire bunch will be picked up and promoted, right? That's what we are looking at. We want to grow in our careers, and to be able to do that, we need to stand out. And to be able to stand out, there are many people who know development, but there will be very less who know coding, development, as well as marketing, as well as have that business understanding. So if you can build that complete set, there's no stopping you. There's no way that you're going to be paid less. You're going to be paid handsomely well. You're going to be respected. You're going to be promoted. And this is applicable not just in startups, but also in mid-sized, big MNCs also. If you stand out, if you're able to portray yourself, represent yourself better than the others, then definitely there's no one who can stop you. Now, what else does a coder need digital marketing for? Personal brand. Now, if I'm a recruiter, let's say you are a recruiter, would you hire someone who has 500 connections on LinkedIn, or would you hire someone who has 1 lakh connections on LinkedIn? Tell me, would you hire someone who has just 10 posts on his LinkedIn profile, or would you hire someone who posts daily, talks about the technical skills that he possesses, the business thinking that he possesses? He talks about that every day on the LinkedIn. Who would you like to prefer in your team? I'm sure our answers match, right? It's the 1 lakh follow connections guys, the guy who's posting every day, who's representing himself out, who's putting himself out, putting his knowledge, putting his expertise out in the world. He's going to be noticed, definitely. He's going to be hired by the best of the companies and paid the best of the packages. Why not? He's worked hard. He's portrayed himself. He's showcased his knowledge. Might not even need to interview him, right? The GitHub profile that you guys have, that's the reason you have that, right? So that we can understand that you're good in your technical part. But as managers, when you grow in your career, LinkedIn, a platform like LinkedIn, for example, I'm not just restricting to LinkedIn, but for an example, LinkedIn as a platform, if you build your profile over there, definitely no one is going to be able to stop you. People will notice you. You will get offers from the front. You will not need Naukri.com and LinkedIn jobs. People will approach you. People will call you. People will be desperate of getting you in their team. Now, what else? There's still more. Like, imagine, I've already talked so much, and there's still more left for you, developers, my friends. Why digital marketing can be important for you? Because you can also become a freelancer, which is a booming field. I'm going to be talking about freelancing a little later. I'm also going to be talking about starting your own company, right? You are developers, you're coders, you are people who actually create new things. And if you're able to create new things, why not create a business out of it, right? A product is going to be known in the world. You can create as a beautiful product as you want to, and based on how much knowledge and expertise you have, but it will only reach the entire world. People will only know about it. People will only interact with it when you're able to market it, when you're able to make a business out of it, right? That's when you will also feel good, when you have some account balance back in your bank account, right? So I'm going to be talking about freelancing and starting your own company just in a bit. Okay, so moving on, let me talk about the non-tech. I'm sure a lot of non-tech people are also watching this webinar. So why the non-tech people need it? So not just marketing and sales guys. Okay, marketing, sales guys, I don't think I really need to explain you why you need the skills, right? So I think you're smart enough to understand why a marketing and a sales guy actually needs digital marketing. It goes hand in hand. Compulsory. You can samajh lo, compulsory. You have to have digital marketing. But what about the other profiles? What about let's say a human resource, an HR person, operations, a normal admin guy? Do you need digital marketing? My answer is yes. The reason is same. What I've been talking about. The reason is because every business is going online. Every business will have a digital, a digital perspective to it. Everything is going to be on the internet. The engagement with the users, the acquisition of the users, the product, the services will be converted into more of digital forms. For example, normal preschool will now be an online preschool. You don't need to send your child to a location. You can actually get him to sit at his home sit with him for 2-3 hours, and that's it. Because that scare, that mindset change I was talking about. This is it. This is an example. People will be scared to send their children to their schools, to preschools, right? And if they can get an option where they can get an entire experience with the same amount of learning, with their child sitting right in front of them at their home, with all the hygiene in mind, with all the cleanliness in mind, yes, that parent is going to buy that online preschool, right? That he's going to buy that course, he's going to buy that curriculum, he's going to buy the service this company has to offer. And this is what needs to be capitalized upon. This is how every sector is going to be thinking. This is how every sector is going to be acting. And for you as professionals, as working professionals, you need to understand this. And you need to, there's no harm. You can just Google a little more. If you don't believe me, just go out, Google. Everybody is talking about this. It's the truth. I am telling you right here. Business are going online. Every business is going to be needing people who can understand the business digitally, right? So the digital literacy part is going to be more in demand. More digital related profiles are going to be there. Overall, as I mentioned, hiring is going to freeze. People are going to lose jobs. The number of jobs overall will be yes. Definitely will be yes. Again, this is also something that you need to say, okay, I believe it. It is going to happen. It is scary, no doubt. There will be less number of jobs, but I will stand out. This is what you need to do. And this is going to be eventually, digital related profiles are going to come up. Even if you're on operations, people will need to understand whether you can manage, whether you understand the power of data, whether you know how a customer behaves on, how a customer behaves, or a vendor, how a vendor behaves on the platform that you've provided for, stock and inventory. So these things are going to be very important, even for an HR, for example. Human resource guy is going to need digital marketing skills for sure. For example, this is an example. This holds true for every sector. So you can just replicate it for every sector. A human resource person, what does he do? He puts out today. He's already started putting out job profiles on Naukri.com. A lot of companies still go for newspaper advertisements. Advertisements in magazines, online platforms again like Naukri, LinkedIn Jobs, and such platforms. Now, why does an HR person need to understand the digital aspect? Should have that digital skill? The reason is simple. So understand this. First, you need to understand the website. You need to be able to understand how Naukri.com works. You need to be able to upload. This is basic. I know some of you might be laughing in their mind, but this is important, right? I just need to make sure that each and every one of you connects and is able to understand what is involved. So even though this is a very basic part where you need to understand websites, go to Naukri.com, be able to go to Naukri.com, list your business there, list the profile you want. And obviously, if you were trying to acquire a good talent, that talent is also going to have some kind of hopes and mindset, some kind of wishes, right? He's going to be wanting to go to a good company. He knows he's good enough, so he would want to go to a good company. So you need to have that mindset where you're able to write that content, that communication of what the job profile is about. How much are you going to pay? You need to attract good talent and also do that at a less price. A less price meaning at a good at a salary that your company can afford, your company will be happy to give, right? So this is one part. Now people apply on such websites on Naukri.com. People apply, like 50,000 people apply on a job, and you're an HR person. You get so many applications. You need to be able to use an email tool, so that whenever you need to be able to create an automation flow out of it. What is an automation flow? Whenever someone applies on Naukri.com and that information is passed to, let's say, your database, you're able to automate it where a little bit of coding might also get involved, or maybe you can use a tool where no coding will be involved. And if you're a non-tech guy, you don't know any coding, so you can use a tool. You should be able to use an email automation tool, create a flow where whenever someone fills up an application, an automatic email goes to him with an assignment. so that your filtering process becomes easier. This is the second part. Email, automation, this is all part of digital marketing. As I mentioned, it's not just social media marketing, right? Next, what happens? People send back their assignments. You should be able to, apart from that, in a long-term perspective, an HR guy should be able to, fetch your data about, for example, let's say you should be able to access the database and, get it on the Excel file and see and match, build some graphs and see what is there any relation between the breaks that the employees are taking and their productivity, things like that. This mindset is going to only come in when you have that business thinking, when you have that digital knowledge, because everything is going to be on online platforms, is going to be on internet-based platforms. So at the basic level and at a very experiential level, you will need to possess this language, this skill. It's like using a phone, right? If someone is not able to use a smartphone today, what is the kind of image that you will have in your mind of him, right? That's the same that is going to happen with digital. It's something that everyone should understand, everyone should be able to use, and that is when you will be recognized more. Your manager will see what different you are doing than the others. Your productivity will increase, your efficiency will definitely increase, because you will be able to add such an important skill to your existing profile. Understood? So let me move on to the scope of digital marketing very quickly. I've already talked so much about job loss. I've already said it like 3-4 times, so I'm not going to say it again, but this image says it all, right? People are losing jobs. People hiring is freezing. There's not going to be a lot of hiring in the coming future. Yes, definitely, but a lot of businesses have seen an exponential rise. E-commerce, right? The essential services, food as in the delivery. A lot of deliveries will happen, right? Even in COVID, in cities like Delhi, Mumbai, the restaurants for delivery have been asked and given permission to open. Now, after COVID, when people are going to, stop going out, deliveries are going to work. So food and beverage industry might see a good bounce back. The education industry, of course, is going to, the online education specifically is going to see a rise. E-commerce, as I mentioned, is going to see a rise. And you will see a rise of traditional businesses now coming online. Now everyone has been hit, right? It's hit this pandemic situation has hit them in their heart, right? They've finally got to understand that, oh boss, we need to shift, we need to transform. Change is inevitable. Change is the only constant, and this should have been understood before, but sometimes you need a hit, you need someone to push you to wake you up from your dream and help you realize what the reality is. And the reality is that this is the pandemic situation, but in general, the world is changing so rapidly that tomorrow you might have a new technology altogether that might come into play. Such changes are going to happen, and such changes are not going to stop. So the scope of that is where we understand that digital marketing is going to see a rise, because many businesses are going to rise traditional businesses are going to shift, small businesses are going to increase their spends online. The existing ad spends are going to be more on digital mediums. As I mentioned, internet penetration on the consumer side, the consumer shift is obviously going to happen, because as I mentioned, 2024, 84% internet penetration is to be expected. As you can see, this is the 2018 world digital around the world ka kuch data, which talks about the number of internet users, which had already touched 4 billion, with 53% penetration globally. And since we are living in a global world, we should always look at the broader picture, and not just look at our country specifically, but as a global scenario, because opportunities are going to go up in terms of global opportunities are also going to go up. The number of mobile users had already touched 5 billion around the world. That's 68 penetration. Oh my God. And mobile social users, social media users, 3 billion approximately. That's a huge number globally also, with 42% approximately the penetration. That's awesome. That's actually so motivating for a digital marketing like me and someone like you who is now starting to think this might actually be necessary. So remove that might word from there, and this is actually necessary for you. So as I mentioned, I'm going to be talking about freelance, about your own startup in a bit. That bit has come. So freelancing has grown immensely. Freelance profiles freelancing is going to be a norm. it was already there. I have been freelancing myself for quite some time, and it's a good life, to be very honest. I do enjoy it. You don't need to go out a lot. You're able to. I've felt that I'm able to produce more. I have more freedom. I'm able to. My productivity is more. My efficiency is more, and the pay is definitely a key factor. But why is the pay for freelancers high? The reason is job security, because as freelancers, you will not have a lot of job security. Let me be very honest with you. Let me put out everything in front of you and give you all the thoughts to think upon. Freelancing is going to, be a new norm, definitely. So that job security wala part is going to be better, but definitely it will take time. So job security, because it's a freelance work, you might have a project for 2 months, then you might have nothing in your hand. So you need to be always prepared, always be looking for new projects, always upskilling yourself, getting, trying to build up more services that you can sell out in the world. So freelancing is going to be a new trend. It was already there, and this is, as you can see on the screen right now, this is from Upwork. Upwork, if you know, is one of the big and one of the best freelancing websites where freelancers are registered, and they offer their services. As you can see the data right in front of you, it clearly says how positive it is. Freelancing is another opportunity. So I'm not saying that you need to leave your jobs, or you don't need to build a career in terms of jobs. Do that and keep this also. An extra pay does not harm anyone. You'll be more than happy to earn extra. You'll be able to spend your, you might obviously be going out less now, no clubbing, no going out with friends. It's going to be restricted. I'm not saying it's going to end completely. Obviously, nobody can, stay away from friends and family, but it's going to be restricted. It's going to go less. You're going to have more time, just like you have a lot of time right now. So freelancing can be a complementary thing. You can build your job career, and side by side, what you can do is you can build your freelancing profile. You can start earning separately. So that job security again is not going to be a problem for you, because you will always have your secure job, where obviously you'll have to keep working hard, keep putting more number of hours in terms of in a week, because freelancing does not require you to spend 6-8 hours. You can give a daily of 1-2 hours, or maybe stretch a bit on the weekends. But overall freelancing, if you're good in managing time, you'll be sorted in this. And once again, the pay is too good. So the next part obviously is the coders out there, especially, you create things, right? And the other people also, we all have ideas, right? The startup culture started off after the 2008 recession. A lot of startups started coming in. We saw a rise in PayPal. Again, every time the economy goes down, something in terms of internet starts coming in, something in terms of technologies that picks the whole economy up in the future. And people who have capitalized at that moment have succeeded. And this is another opportunity for you, for me, for everyone to capitalize upon. So startup, what is a startup? A startup is a business, right? Startup is a little fancy term, to be very honest. I believe that, but it's a business. But it's a different kind of an approach that you have. So what you see here is what we call as MVP, minimum viable product. So if you're, you might be just 18, 19 or 20 years old, or you might be a little older, you might be an experienced professional sitting right now, watching me, hearing me out right now. Thank you so much for that once again, first of all. And so coming back, so if I talk about this minimum viable product, what is going to happen is basically we get ideas, right? We get a lot of ideas. We see so many things going online. We see a lot of digital startups already there, tech startups, digital presence online. We get ideas as well. We see consumers. We understand customers a little. We understand maybe a niche market somewhere, and we think of ideas. So you need to get those ideas into execution. Now, the beauty of digital marketing is that at the minimum of, let's say, 5,000 rupees, you can start a business. And you don't need to go full-fledged out there, putting in lakhs of rupees. Let's build a business. Let's get it private, limited, registered. Let's build a team. Let's put in lakhs of rupees. No, that's not a good approach, to be very honest. You need to minimize risk. If you're into business, risk minimalization is very important. And this is where the startup approach, this hockey stick growth approach, is very, very beneficial. Now, you might start thinking of the pandemic situation right now, and might start thinking of something, something new that might come up, and you might start having an idea. Now do one thing, build a basic website. It's almost free. Building a website, you can go to go to AWS, Amazon Web Service, get a hosting there free of cost for 1 year. Then install WordPress, build a beautiful website, have a chatbot there, some pop-ups, conversion rate optimization is what we call it. Focus on that, get more people, try and convert more people with the help of the design, with the help of the communication that you have, the content that you have. Get an online presence, try and achieve a success in a sample population. First, see and validate your idea. Validation is important, proof of concept is important. If you're able to achieve that, the first step is the tinkering. When you're thinking about it, do it in your population sample. If you succeed, obviously there will be certain changes, certain refinements that will come in the form of feedbacks from your customers. Do that. Go into the blade years, struggle a little, build a small team, increase your population sample. Now, if you were doing in a locality, do it in a city, do it in a state, try and achieve success. Keep on evolving yourself, keep on learning from the feedback that you're getting. The data that you're producing is not going to lie. Remember that the data that you're producing is very important. Focus on that, focus on collecting the right data points, focus on analyzing it and getting good inferences out of it. Then you'll reach a growth inflection point, and this is a point where investors will start noticing you. People would want to put in money in you. People will start trusting you. They'll feel that you are credible, and that's going to be the time when investors are going to pump in money. And then that is the growth inflection point where you start going into a surging growth phase. And that's how all startups today, as you know, have been built. Flipkart, Uber, Ola, Amazon, name it. This is the kind of approach everyone has followed. Flipkart didn't have an application when they started off. They started off the basic website. Ola didn't have an application in the very beginning. They started off with a website. So if you know digital marketing, you'll be able to start your own business. You'll be able to convert your ideas into business and obviously succeed in the overall career that you are going to build. So now, coming to a very important question, why should you choose Coding Blocks? So for digital marketing, we have two options for you. First, if you want to learn at your own pace, we have an online course which has been shot by me, designed by me and Nilesh Gupta, who heads digital marketing. He's the growth and digital manager for Coding Blocks with a vast 5 years of experience in this field. Has worked for many big giants, an e-commerce giant like 𝐷𝐿𝐼𝐻, currently in Coding Blocks, which is also big company, right? And so the reason why you should choose Coding Blocks is, as I'm mentioning, we have an online course where you can learn. This online course is a self-paced learning course. Obviously, recorded lectures, assignments are there. I'm going to be there with you in the video lectures, obviously not being able to interact, but we also are going to provide you a regular interaction with me, so that all your doubts, all your curiosities, any help that you need, any discussions that you might want to have, you can have it directly with me. We will have a one-on-one mentorship kind of an approach in that. So, and the other one is where from 1st June 2020, we're going to be starting off with live classes, where obviously I'm going to be there with you, teaching you, training you, mentoring you right there live with you always. So that's also another approach. So you can choose whichever way you're comfortable. Now the question is, why choose Coding Blocks? Because very simple, 3 very simple statements. Coding Blocks understands you, understands this student community that we have. It's not a company that was born yesterday. It's been there. It has catered to so many students successfully. One point is that we understand you and we care for you. We understand that we are into coding, right? Coding Blocks always has so many beautiful courses in coding and development field, right? We understand the change that is happening. That's the reason I'm sitting here with all the freedom talking about this change. We understand this change is happening. We understand that we understand what is necessary for you because we care about you. We want to build a workforce, build a workforce that is ready for the future that is ahead. It's going to be a little tough. It's going to be a little problematic, but that's the reason we are starting off with this digital marketing course. We want to prepare a complete package out of you. We want to create a workforce that is able to survive, that is able to grow regularly without interruption. Be it a pandemic, be it a technological revolution, you will be there. You will understand the future. You will be agile in nature, and that's what we focused on this course as well. There are hundreds of digital marketing courses available. There are hundreds of free resources available online, on YouTube, on the internet. But then why do we want you to come to us? Why do we want you to be associated with us? Because we're going to because we understand you, we care for you, we're going to give something different, obviously. I am a graduate from Narsi Munji, Mumbai. I am a self-made marketer. Life has taught me marketing. I've never done a course on my own. I've never done a course, definitely. But I've made myself, I'm a self-made marketer, right? So I understand the very different aspects of business. I understand the different aspects of marketing. Nilesh, who's designed this entire course, who's structured this entire course, is a hell of a person. If you meet him, if you talk to him, you'll know the kind of knowledge this guy possesses. So we've put in everything in this course. It's not just about social media marketing or search engine optimization or a website development or running ads on Google. It's also we also have automation, right? If you're a non-tech guy, if you choose our thing, we're going to teach a bit of coding as well. We have automation of reports on Excel, a bit of coding, Python scripts there. Coding people will understand this better. But if you're a non-tech person, definitely coding is also necessary for you. Basic coding understanding is necessary. And that's where that's where our course is going to be special. Our course is going to be different. We focused on helping you build a thought process. See, practical execution, as I mentioned, a lot of free resources are available. You just type on YouTube right now how to create a Google ad and get hundreds of videos, and every video will be perfect. No one will say anything wrong to you. If you are able to judge, it will be fine. But that's not what we have focused on. Yes, definitely, we're going to teach you that. That's a very, very basic part of it. But we're also going to teach you how the entire thought process behind it. How will a manager think? How will an executor, say, a fresher think? Everything is covered. We have made sure that you understand the business aspects. We have made sure that you understand the thought process. We have made sure that you understand how to create content that connects with the user, that makes him engage with you. Everything is covered in this course, and that's why our course is different, and that's why you should choose Coding Blocks, because we understand the entire ecosystem. We understand what is required. If you look at our assignments, we have a feature where you can take a free trial and definitely go for it. And in the starting the live classes, also we're going to give out a few demo lectures, so you can come and see how different our delivery is, how different our content is, how different our learnings and knowledge that we pass on is from the others that are there on the internet. So we understand the ecosystem, we understand what kind of jobs are going to come up, what kind of businesses. This COVID-19 is going to bring up so many new businesses, is going to it's going to explode. The potential opportunities is going to explode, and we want to make sure that we can help you capitalize on it. When you capitalize on it, that's when we grow. You grow, we grow. That's simple. That's how life works. It's hand in hand. People go hand in hand. We will go hand in hand with you. Another feature, as I mentioned, is the mentorship. So even for live classes or for the online recorded classes that we have, the lectures that we have, in both the things, we have a mentorship experience. One-on-one, we will with me directly, connecting directly with me. I'm going to be your trainer. I'm going to be your mentor. I'm going to be talking with you over phone calls. We will have we will give you the liberty to ask us questions on a dynamic basis. You can, anytime you feel you're doing it, let's say you're doing the online course and it's 1 a.m. in the early in the morning, and you're doing the course, you have a doubt, push a question right then. We will try to answer it as soon as possible. Our service is going to be exceptional. That's a promise, and that's something that you obviously most of you who are a part of Coding Blocks community already know about, right? So this is the reason we want to choose. This is the reason you would want to choose Coding Blocks. So this is that's pretty much it for now from my side. Let me very quickly just see. Are there any questions? I would like to take any questions. So we have a question. Let me just keep the screen full screen. Let me go back. Yeah, so we have a question: potential opportunities of opening business during COVID-19. Okay, so this is a beautiful question. So definitely a lot of opportunities are there. As I mentioned, for example, an online preschool, delivery, a kitchen model. If you want to go into the food and beverage industry, build anything, any tech product is going to work right now. That's the kind of opportunities we're going to be having. I think I've covered a lot of these parts already. E-commerce is a potential sector. You could see education is a potential sector, F&B, deliveries, kitchen model. every sector will have opportunities. Please understand this, and there is no problem in starting off a business, since we want to minimize the risk, especially because it's a time where the economy is also down. Go for the MVP model, go for the minimum viable product wala approach. If you follow that, your risk will be minimum and you'll be able to grow. Every sector will have opportunities. Just be innovative in the mindset, in the thought process that you have. Try and think in terms of online, in terms of internet, in terms of the change that the consumer is going to now showcase. For example, as I have taken like a couple of times the preschool, not sending your kids out, but rather letting them sit in front of the laptops. That's something that is going to rise. Even like, for example, if like a very different example I'm going to give right now is a psychology, right? Cyber psychology is something that's going to be very interesting, and it's going to be a growing profile. A lot of things are going to go online. A lot of things are going to go on the internet. Everything is, going to be related to it. So at that moment, a lot of effects in our mind will also might happen. And that's the reason something like a cyber psychology will also increase. So think in that direction. Think in terms of what new profiles could open up, what new sectors could open up, or think of, building something differently in the existing sectors that are there. We have another question. Oh, it's great. We have a lot of questions. Digital marketing is big. Should we focus on specific part, or should we focus on everything? Just go for our course, Coding Blocks ka course. We've covered everything that is important for you, which is everything. So yes, digital marketing is vast, but it's more about the thought process, which is where we've tried to help in the courses, and which is where going to be trying to help in the live classes as well, is the thought process. The execution part, definitely it's not much, right? It's not much. We're going to help you understand how a funnel is, right? How to identify gaps in a funnel. Funnel is awareness. People get aware, they show interest, then they are converted, and then you retain them, or you try and sell them again, right? So we'll make you understand how a funnel works, how you identify gaps, what channels to use, what channels to use for creating awareness. So everything, that thought process is important, which is what we are focusing on. So yeah, my answer would be go for all. Like, there's nothing specific you should stick to. Let's just let it explode. The next question is how to capitalize on the situation. So how to capitalize? I think I've talked a lot about this. If you want to capitalize on the situation right now, the current moment, if you're free right now, learn something, upskill yourself. Please upskill yourself. If not digital marketing, even after this webinar, if you're listening to me from the very beginning and you're still not satisfied, still not convinced, it's okay. Just learn something. Upskill yourself. It's not necessary you go for digital marketing, not necessary if you come to Coding Blocks. Please upskill yourself if you want to survive and grow. That is how you capitalize on the situation. There is no other way. There is no shortcut. There's nothing else that you can do. You will face a tough time. You will face difficulties. But if you are persistent, if you are determined to achieve something in life, as has always been true, you're going to achieve it. Just focus on capitalizing, focus on upskilling yourself, learn new skills as much as you can. So a brand name creation, how can digital marketing help? So I have the name also. I think Ayush has asked this question. Thank you so much, Ayush, for asking this wonderful question. So brand name creation, how can digital marketing help? I think you're talking about the personal brand point that I took, right? LinkedIn, Instagram, even TikTok, if you're targeting tier 2, tier 3 cities, your GitHub, Behance for designers, these Facebook also to an extent. These are platforms that can help you build your profile, right? We all know that. We see what we call as influencers. We see so many influencers there. There was a time when only Amitabh Bachchan was an influencer. Right now, even I could be, or you could be an influencer. It's just about the number of followers you have. And how can digital marketing help? So if I'm talking about LinkedIn, which is, in a professional context, LinkedIn is very helpful in terms of building just a personal brand name, or in terms of building a business scale brand name. Instagram can be very beneficial. Even TikTok पे भी education का भी शुरू हो गया. Like hashtag education has come into play. TikTok will also evolve. That is also something that you should see. Like YouTube भी पहले was like this only. People YouTube was not as often used by like we use it like normal search engine now. Like Google के बाद अब YouTube, like anything we want, we will go to YouTube. This is now not how YouTube was used before. It was used for watching movies and listening to songs only. It's over a period of time that YouTube as a platform has matured. This same is going to happen, is what I believe. with TikTok. So you can capitalize on that as well. So yes, digital marketing will help you understand what kind of content to create. It will help you understand the target audience. It will help you understand the consumer behavior, and connecting all that with your content. If you're talking about, let's say, LinkedIn, as I was saying, so LinkedIn pe kya, what do you publish? How do you publish? See, one is frequency. Like, the more determined, the more persistent you are, it's going to work. But the content is also important, right? When will a user see your post, read the entire post and click on the like button and comment, let's say, right? These are the complexity actions. Like, in terms of complexity, these are the actions, right? Reading a post is one. If he likes it, that's the second complexity, like an effort by a user. And if he comments also, that's another effort. How do you make sure that these complexities are filled? You need to understand the digital aspect to it. You need to understand content is a core part of digital marketing, and we have covered it in our course as well, in Coding Blocks ka course, and live classes also. Content pe bahut focus hai, boss. Bahut zyada focus, because content is the king. That's the statement. This is a statement. Just type it out. You'll see a lot of articles also related to it. Content is the king, and digital marketing is the core of digital marketing is content, and we have focused on that. That's how you can build a personal brand. That's how you can stand out even from hundreds of people who are actually doing it. You can still stand out from those, right? So first step as a blogger, Vartik, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but thank you so much for this question. First step as a blogger is, if you want to create your own website, create your own website. But the problem will be, would you be able to get traffic? How to get traffic? So if you want to become a blogger, start with LinkedIn. Start writing on LinkedIn. Start writing on Quora. Start writing on Blogger. Start writing on Medium, which already has a flow of traffic, right? Build a name there. Let people know who you are. Start approaching other platforms where they give you an opportunity to write as a guest blogger. Again, these are all things that we've covered in the course. As I mentioned, we've not missed anything. There's not going to be anything that we're going to miss out. So that's how you can start. Start building a name for yourself on Quora, LinkedIn. As a blogger, you can write short blogs also, where Quora is going to come in, LinkedIn is going to come in. Even you can move ahead. Then also simultaneously start having a website, which is easy to build. Go to WordPress, not the free WordPress.org. I'm talking about hosting a website on AWS. Hosting is free for, as I mentioned, on Amazon Web Service. You can go there. We've covered it all. Again, as I mentioned in our course as well, we've helped you build your own blogging website, the hosting, everything sorted. Everything is there, very beautifully explained. Create website, a niche SEO, creating a web. Okay, so there's a question related to creating a website and doing a niche website and doing the SEO. Yes, this works. This absolutely does work. I'll talk about a niche. A niche could be a regional language, right? Let's say you come from Maharashtra. You are Marathi, right? A lot of consumption in regional languages has increased. Let's say Marathi, Gujarati, Tamil, Kannada. I've already said Gujarati, Bengali, yeah. Hindi, so don't ask. It's already, as I have been saying, this term exploded. So this is a niche, right? You will consider regional language a niche. So if you can write in a regional language, produce blog articles on a regular basis in this, use a lot of keywords, create your own website, that's okay. Creating your own website, you can focus on SEO. Again, Vartik, this goes for you as well. You can create a website and start focusing on SEO. But since search engine optimization takes a little time, even if you do it for a niche profile, I thought I had a name for this question. No, I don't. So even if you have a niche website and you're doing SEO, it will still take 3 to 4 months, right? So yeah, you can focus on that. It's a long-term strategy, but definitely one should do that. So I think we're done with the questions. Thank you so much, guys. It was a pleasant evening. I think we have spent our time very well today. Please, we have a scholarship test. This is very interesting. Coding Blocks has come up with a scholarship test, and I would request you all to at least register for the scholarship test and get up to 95% discount. Amazing. Explosion in my mind, to be very honest. This will happen on 3rd of May. The link is there in the description. Also, I read it out. cb.lk/test. Please confirm it in the description if I've read it wrong. This happens on 3rd May. Register for the scholarship test. Register for free trial version on our Coding Blocks website for the digital marketing course. Come on 1st June. Join me with the live. Join me as we start with the live classes. Take a demo lecture with me and see how I can actually help you build your future, build your career, and help you grow in your life. Thank you so much once again, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you loved the session. I hope I could add value to your evening. Thank you so much.